This video is your sign to quit smoking weed. This video is your sign to quit smoking weed. Now, I've been smoking weed for the last, I'd say about 10 years of my life consecutively, consistently. The longest break I've experienced is about 5-6 months, and I just did 40 days clean after picking it up heavy for the last year. So prior to the last year, I did about 5 or 6 months clean, and then I picked it back up heavily for about, I'd say about a year. And now I'm 40 days clean, no weed, no cannabis, no za, no pressure, no gelato, no runts, no cookies, no nothing. No pulling up, no making phone calls, no sneaking, you feel me? No having to look over my shoulder, none of that. And one of the main benefits of having quit weed is that cloud being lifted up above your head, that cloud is gone. It's no longer there. You know what I'm saying? You're no longer having to hide this in your pocket, hide this in your sock. You no longer have to drive with something in your car worried about, am I going to get pulled over? You no longer have to feel like, oh, I got to hide the smell. I got to put the drops in my eyes. I got to spray some cologne. You don't have to hide from anybody. You could just go throughout your life and be you. The problem with smoking this gas, the problem with smoking this za, it's like whatever you got to take care of for the day, you put in smoking weed ahead of that. So if I got to brush my teeth, I might roll up before I even brush my teeth. If I got to go to the store, I'm going to roll up and smoke before I even go to the store and handle anything. If I set a goal to where I say I'm going to purchase this car, or if I set a goal and I say I'm going to save up this much money, me smoking come before whatever the goal is. So if I had a goal of saving $1,000, but I got to spend $100 on weed, I'm definitely going to spend that $100. And what's that going to do? It's going to put me further away from my goal. Another benefit is ideas that I'm coming up with, I can more successfully execute on certain ideas that I'm coming up with. So if I want to stream on the game, I can stream the game and go live on YouTube. If I want to go to the gym, I'm going to just go to the gym. There's nothing ahead of that. If I want to invest here or invest here, if I want to read this book, all I'm going to do is read the book. It's not, oh, I'm going to smoke first and then read the book. I'm going to smoke first and then make a YouTube video. No, I'm going to just make the YouTube video. See, before I would have to smoke and then I go take action. These days, I'm just taking action. If I want to go work out, I'm going to just go work out. It's that simple. When you quit smoking and your body adjusts and your mind adjusts, you go without that THC for a little bit, you go without that dopamine, your body regulates itself, right? You reach a state of balance where you don't need weed to function no more. You don't need it. You don't need it to function no more. Now you can wake up, handle business, do what you got to do, and weed's not a part of it. I don't need to smoke after I work because I'm no longer thinking about it. So when I get off work, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go do the next productive task, or I'm going to go do the next thing on my list. I'm not going to, oh, before I go to the gym, I got to smoke. No, I'm going to just get up and go to the gym. That's the difference. So anyone that's smoking weed, even though they might argue with you and say, weed doesn't affect me, weed isn't slowing me down, it's not ruining my life, it's not a bad habit for me, even though they're telling you that, if you're putting smoking weed ahead of anything, if you got to smoke before you could even eat, then it's a bad habit because you can't eat without smoking. So eating is an essential function. You got to smoke before you even perform an essential function, right? If you got to smoke before you go to bed, which is an essential function, and you got to smoke ahead of that, that means you got to smoke before you could even go to sleep and get some rest. You can't sleep without it. So what that means is that you're out of balance in your whole system, your whole body, everything is just out of whack. So when you sober up, you clean up for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 4 weeks. What happens is your body goes back to normal. Now, if you want to take a nap, you can just take a nap. You don't got to smoke a blunt to take a nap. You don't got to spend $20 to take a nap. If I got to smoke to go to sleep, that means I got to spend $10 to $20 just to go to sleep. If I got to smoke to eat or smoke to speak, that means I got to spend $10, $15 just to speak, just to eat, just to sleep. You remove that barrier, you remove that hurdle that you got to climb, having to smoke before you do anything, and now you could take action. See what weed does? It causes us to procrastinate. Things that you want to do, you're not doing them. Things that you want to act out on, you can't act out on. Ideas that you have, you can't execute. Anybody that watches sports knows that you could have the best game plan, but if you don't go out there and execute, you don't have anything. So I could have the best ideas, but if I can't execute, I don't have anything. And what marijuana does is it delays your execution. You're procrastinating, right? And then it impedes your execution because your motor functions are reduced. Your coordination ain't as good when you're smoking weed, right? So me, if I go smoke on my lunch break, I come back in, I gotta fix a certain car or I gotta do a certain repair on a vehicle. My motor functions, not motor like car, but my motor function, how my body, my muscles and all that working, it's a little bit impaired, right? So I might not have the same accuracy when I'm trying to pull this bolt, with the tool. I might not have the same accuracy when I'm reaching for this screw right here. I might not have the same mindset that's working like Legos in my head. Like, okay, first you gotta do this, then you do this, then you do that. Even if I know the job well, I might skip a step. So now I'm making mistakes and I'm less productive, but it's okay with you because you're high. You might be an audio engineer. You might be the type of person where you're mixing the songs and it's really a task where you really got to think about what you're doing and use all your techniques to get the best possible sound, right? You mixing and mastering and you skipping steps or you overdid something or your ears, maybe they're too sensitive or maybe they're not sensitive enough because you're high. It's just so many nuances. Being sober is so much better. You might be a songwriter. You might think that you're more creative when you're high, but I'd implore you to try to write music when you're sober. If you're working out, if you're a person that goes on runs after you smoke or you work out when you smoke, try to work out sober and you'll have better workouts. You're probably having a sloppy workout because you smoked before the workout. I know some people that hit the gas before they play basketball and they actually play better. To each his own. If that's you, then I'm not going to argue with you. Do what you do. But for the majority of people, weed is something that's slowing you down. It's the hurdle that you got to climb before you go out and do what you want to do. It's another hurdle that you putting ahead of yourself. And the fact that you got to spend money on this, the fact that you got to send money towards your weed habit before you could even do what you need to do, before you could even speak, eat, sleep, before you could even save, stack up, do what you got to do. The fact that I made the other video about weed making you broke, right? The fact that you got all this stuff going on before you could even get to where you need to get to me, it don't sound like a good deal. It just don't sound like a good deal to me. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking. To me, it's not a good deal. To me, it seems like something it's a problem. It's an impairment. It's a distraction. If you're a weed smoker, you're distracted. You can't focus. This is me in the background smoking weed in my music video. If you do music and you smoke, I say it's like 50-50, but sometimes you go to the studio, you smoke a bunch of trees and you get nothing done. You might have went in there with like a 9-to-5 worker mindset. And if you handled it like it was your actual job, you might have gotten a lot of work done if you treated it like work. But maybe to get into that mind state, being sober might be better, but to each his own. You can let me know. But the way I view weed is like it's a distraction. It's in the way. You're spending money. You're spending bread. Your ideas, you don't execute them on time. You don't execute them the way you envisioned them. That's a problem to me. You're not as sharp. You're not picking up on things as quickly as you should. You're not dealing with situations right then and there when you should. You letting shit slide. So, in this world, you got to be on your P's and Q's. And if you smoking, you're not really going to be all the way there mentally. The other aspect about it is your health. Like if you smoke out of a glass or a bong, you can see the tar that's building up in the bong. Imagine your lungs. That's your lungs right there. That's your oral hygiene. That's, you feel me? People looking in your eyes and your eyes are red and your eyes are yellow. You got bags under your eyes because you're not getting good enough sleep. Or you just pass out, you oversleep and you waking up past the alarm because you was high. All these issues, but people justify it. Now, I'd understand you justifying it if it was free. If it was free, I would understand when folk justify their weed habits. But the fact that you spending $50 for the eighth, you spending might be 35 for the eighth, 40 for the eighth. I'm not paying nobody 40 for the eighth. I'm not paying nobody 70 for a half or 70 for a seven. I'm not sending nobody no type of bread for nothing. I've been clean for 40 days. You know what I'm saying? I still get phone calls. They go straight to voicemail. I see it. It goes straight to voicemail. Put the phone on D&D. So they can't call me offering you deals and discounts, but they're really just trying to ensnare you and get you back trapped again. Get you back. You feel me? Yeah, deals and discounts, but it ain't really no deal. Same way, candy bar $2, but anytime you need dental work, it's a few thousand. That's the same thing with this weed situation. Same thing with the weed situation. It'd be $2, but as soon as you know what I'm saying, you getting a discount, but what are you really losing? You losing probably thousands of dollars. You're probably spending hundreds of dollars to smoke. You spend hundreds of dollars to smoke, there's so much more shit that you could be doing with that money. There's so much better investments that you could be making. There's so much better, there's so many better things. There's so much more to life. You could travel. Check out my travel vlog, by the way. Quick plug, shameless plug. Check out my travel vlog. You know what I'm saying? You could be traveling. You could take a trip with that money. You stack up a few ounces. That's $1,000. 4 ounces, that's over $1,000. You could have took a trip, but instead you was in your backyard smoking, right? You could be traveling. You could have started a business. You could have reinvested that money. You could have bought some crypto. You could have, man, the possibilities is endless. You could have bought a camera and started a YouTube channel. You could have, man, what else can I think of? Every time you buy an eighth, that's a good book or a nice t-shirt or a nice hoodie from someone. You know what I'm saying? You buy you a half, that's a damn pair of AirPods. That's a whole game system damn near. An ounce is damn near an Xbox at this point. So it's like every time you're spending that money, think about what you could have did with that. And I'm no better than anybody. I'm just speaking on mistakes and things that I made and areas where I went wrong. And if you're watching this, it's time to cut it out. If you of age, it's time to cut it out. You might be a teenager. And before it get too deep, you got to understand that the more weed you smoke, the tougher it's going to be for you to get high. The more weed you smoke, the more weed you're going to need to get high. So that means the more weed that you smoke, the more money that you're going to have to spend to get high. So it's like this person, they might get high hitting the blunt 2 times. 2 times they hit it, they high. You got to sit there and smoke for an hour and a half before you even feel a buzz. And you just going to pass out after that. But you're not going to experience that same colorful, vibrant high where you like flying through the clouds and shit. that the beginner smoker is feeling. So you probably not even really addicted to weed for real. You just addicted to the action of smoking. And don't forget, like the grabba leaf is actually nicotine in that. So not only are you addicted to the weed, but you're addicted to the nicotine that's in the grabba leaf that you smoke with the weed. So some people, they're not even really addicted to trees. They're addicted to tobacco leaf. And you addicted to tobacco leaf, now it's not nothing for someone to say, here go a Black and Mild or here go a cigarette. And I got homeboys like that, like, you know, they pull up, they smoking a Black and Mild. You know, I ain't never smoked no Black and Mild in my life, but I see how it get to that because the backwood is tobacco, the grabba leaf is tobacco. You run out of weed, what you gonna smoke? Tobacco. You smoking tobacco, what you gonna smoke? A cigarette. So that's why they say weed is a gateway type of situation because you start off just smoking the trees, you starting off just smoking the gas. Down the line, you look, the person smokes straight cigarettes now. So something that they push on you as harmless, it becomes harmful when they move on to other substances and other ways of smoking because you're addicted to the action of smoking, not actually smoking the weed. So there's that. Weed is the way a lot of people get hooked on Black and Milds and cigarettes and tobacco because weed is how people are introduced to tobacco in the first place. You feel me? So think about your health. And then at that point, you smoking Black and Milds and cigarettes, like, and I'm talking to you about health and tar in your lungs. What we talking about? What we doing? It's over with. It's grits. I'm talking about oral hygiene. It's over with. At that point, you smoking blacks and shit. It's over with. It's over with. And you know, I tried to tell people like, hey man, like, don't do that, but ain't nobody gonna listen to me. But you watching the video, this your sign to just chill out on all that. My mind been clear, fam. My mind been clear. I'm coming up with ideas every day. I'm talking about, and I'm executing on shit too. I'm executing on shit too. So my mind clear. I'm executing on ideas. I haven't felt like this since, I want to say like 23, 24 type shit. Like 8 years ago type shit. I ain't feel this way. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, let this video be your sign to quit smoking, man. Think about your pockets. Go watch my Weed is Making You Broke video. Go watch that. Definitely go watch that Weed is Making You Broke video. Go watch Weed is Holding You Back from Your True Potential, because it is. If it's stopping up your money flow, that's vacations you could be taking. That's financial goals you could be reaching. That's money that you could be saving. Your clarity of mind. If you're not all the way there in your head, you're not going to be able to make the type of bread to be as productive or do the right shit with your money. Or just, you know, people might call you and ask you a question about this and that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to get over on you, you need to be sharp. So if you high and someone calling you down on business, you on business, and you zooted, you gonna mess up the business. It just is what it is. You focus on pleasure. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, let this be your sign to quit smoking. I'm gonna keep pumping these out. You know, like, comment, subscribe, do something.